stars! My name is Yegi and I'm the founder and owner of Yegi Lashes and Yegi Beauty. Before we get into depth about eyelash extensions, let me tell you a little bit about me. I have been in the beauty industry for about 10 years now, and I've owned my own salon and product lines for about 3 years. We specialize only in eyelash extensions because I fell in love with everything lashes. Come on, with that lashes, I feel like a naked troll. After working with many lash companies, I was getting really frustrated with the lack of great lash products. And this is when I decided to take the matter into my own hands and come up with my own lash product line. A little about me. So back in high school, I took an elective in cosmetology, and that's when I fell in love. I mean, what teenage girl does not want to know how to do hair and makeup to impress that someone that we're crushing on, right? But with my old school traditional parents, getting into beauty industry was out the question. You know, I didn't even consider it back then because I knew I had to be, or they expected me to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or an accountant, you know, something scientific. Anyways, that's a long story. So to make a long story short, I ended up getting my bachelor's and my master's in business and accounting. Then I worked as a student counselor, but I wasn't fully happy or content. So I was always thinking, what should I do to be fully content, you know? Especially because I thought I would be making way more money with a master's degree than I actually was at the time. As I got older and wiser and finally got my zero given mentality, I stopped caring about what other people think. I decided to take the leap and get into the beauty industry full time. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't that easy. Getting denied a job opportunity that I was qualified for did me off to push me to the limits of starting my own business. I was angry and I said, yeah, you don't think I can be a leader and manage other people because I'm too young? Watch me. That's when I said I'm going to start my own business because like that I can give myself whatever title I want. After my adrenaline had calmed down, I was like, shh, what do I do? Then I remembered my passion for beauty and I knew that was the right move to make. And now with my cosmetology license, I'm making 10 times the income I was making with my master's degree. I wanted to tell you this story to hopefully motivate you to follow your dreams and not let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do, nor let anybody ignorant look down upon you because you're in the beauty industry rather than law or medicine. Let me end on this note. Unlike doctors or lawyers who have so much school debt and sleepless nights, the beauty industry is the best. 1, we make good money. 2, we can't be replaced by programs or robots because what we do is art. 3, we're always in a positive environment and we're making people happy. And lastly, our quality of life can't be replaced. And this is why I love the beauty industry. Now let's jump into the demo for eyelash extensions that we're actually here for. Please note, we do offer full online and on-site trainings for eyelash extensions and certifications throughout the year. As beauty students, you can also shop all of our products already from yegilashes.com. Here's a portion of the training we offer so you can learn the basics of eyelash extensions. Please keep in mind, this is only a part of the full course training at Yegi Academy. You have your glues, okay? So we have 3 main types of glues. We have a premium glue, which you can say it's the most commonly used regular glue. We have the sensitive glue, and the sensitive glue is exactly what it sounds like. It's pretty much the same as the premium glue, but it's a little bit of weaker formula for people who have sensitive eyes. Okay, and lastly, we have our mega volume or mega hold glue, and this glue is really strong, and it's mainly formulated for mega volume eyelashes, but it can be used with all types of eyelash extensions, and it is formulated to have a really long and strong hold to be able to work quickly with the glue and also have long lasting results. So sometimes people ask, what is the dry time on these? They are a 1 to 3 second hold glue. The mega one's really strong, so it's a 1 second glue. The sensitive one is the longest one, which is a 3 second, and then the premium one is a 2 second, okay? So they all dry really quickly, in order for you to be able to apply and work with them quickly without them getting stuck to each other as you're working. Now, after the glue, of course, we're going to talk about glue rings. So what glue rings are, they're rings to hold the glue. That's where we get the name from, right? So you use them usually on your finger to hold little drops of glue as you're working. We have two types of removers. So we have the gel adhesive remover. There are usually gel adhesive removers and cream removers. So the main difference is its consistency. The cream remover is a lot thicker formula and it is less likely to get in the client's eye when you're working with them. And the gel adhesive, the pro of it is it works faster, but the likeliness of it kind of getting in the client's eye is a little bit higher. So you can kind of see which one you prefer to work with, but I kind of like the cream remover better because it is easier to work with even if it takes a tiny bit longer. So here's the primer I was talking about. So the primer is a liquid material, so it just feels like water. And you're going to use your primer with the micro brush, and you literally just put one drop on there, and even if you see the water on there or the primer on there, you just dab it down on a tissue before you use it. So the reason why you want to use a glue primer is because you want to set the natural eyelashes for success. So you want to set the natural eyelashes before you apply the extensions with the glue, and the primer allows the adhesive to attach better or to work better, so it is an important step in your application. Generally, to give you an idea, what tweezers are used for eyelash extensions is application and the isolation, as we talked about. Usually for the classic style, we use straight tweezers to apply and curved tweezers to isolate, okay? And for volume, you usually use two curved tweezers. And we will demonstrate and show you why and how to use it exactly. But just know for application, we use straight tweezers for classic, curved tweezers for volume. And then for isolation, we always use a curved tweezer to make our lives easier, all right? And there is a lot of different forms of straight tweezers and curved tweezers. So what we want to do is find the one that fits best for us. Kind of like a pen. Everybody has their favorite type of tweezers, so you don't want to just go off of one kind that somebody recommends to you. Try different straight ones, try different curved ones to see which one is the most comfortable for you. And that is why within our kits we try to include a few different kinds to give you that opportunity to try them. And of course, you have all your different types of eyelash extensions. Okay, so besides the length and the size and the curl and all the different variations that each kind comes with, there's also different lines of them. So for example, there is mink, there is mega volumes, there is pre-made fans, there are flat eyelashes, there are cashmere eyelashes. So these are some of the common ones we use, and these are the different definitions or the differences between each of them. So the vegan mink eyelashes, they're used for both classic and volume eyelash extensions. They are light and soft to the touch and provide easy application for the lash artists. So you guys can think of the mink eyelashes as your starting point. Okay, so they're the most common type of eyelashes used, and ours is vegan. It's not made out of the animal hair. It is microfibers mimicked to feel like natural hair, and that's kind of your starting point. Okay, so that's the regular eyelash extensions that you apply for your client. Now, compared to the mink, our mega volume eyelashes, if you're using mink eyelashes compared to mega volume eyelashes to do a pre-made fan, the mega volume eyelashes are way easier to use. And the reason for that is they're attached at the base, so when you pull them out to create that fan, it basically fans itself out. So they are matte and tapered on the edges to give you that nice, full, fluffy volume look. And keep in mind, the mega volumes are more in cost, and the reason for that is it helps you save a lot of time during your application. Plus, it's double the amount of eyelash extensions within that same box compared to the mink, because there's 2 layers of them for the easy fanning out. All right, let's jump into the theory of eyelash extensions. There's the classic, the volume, and the hybrid. So the classic is one eyelash extension attached on top of one natural eyelash. The volume is multiple eyelash extensions attached on one lash. The hybrid is a combination of the both. So some eyelashes only have one eyelash extension and some have a few on them. So now let's get into the different characteristics of eyelashes themselves. For example, if you look at a tray of eyelash extensions, how do you know what size it is really, right? So there's three main things that describe the eyelash extension box itself. So first thing is the length, second thing is the thickness, and the third thing is its curl. And that's what these stickers are telling you on the box, okay? So normally the easiest one is the length to recognize it. For example, this one says 14 millimeters, so it's 14 millimeters long, okay? The next thing is the point number. Anytime you see like a point number like 0.15, 0.7, that's describing the thickness. And the thickness is what determines if the box of eyelashes is going to be used for classic or volume. Now let's go over shapes. The two shapes for eyelash extensions, first one is cat eye, second one is doll eye. Cat eye is shorter in the frontal corners, and it gets longer and longer as we come to the outer corners. Doll eye is shorter in the inner and outer corners, and it gets longer as we come to the center. Center is the longest point for the round shape, and you can see it is a round shape. Cat eye is from short to long. The way we're going to do eyelash mapping depending on what sizes we're going to use where. For example, if you are using two lengths, okay? So let's say we're using, for a short style, we said our to-go lengths is what? 9 millimeters and 11 millimeters. If we're only using these two lengths, the way we're going to map it out, so let's say a client wants a cat eye and they want short, right? The way we're going to map this out is we're going to literally divide this in half and do the 9 millimeters in the front and the 11 millimeters in the outer corner. And that's going to give it that cat eye look. And you see, I'm skipping 1 millimeter in between the short and the long part, and that's okay. Anytime we're skipping only 1 millimeter, that's fine. But if you're going to skip more than one, it will look weird. It will have too much of a jump between each length. But even though we're using 9 in this whole area, because of the curve of the natural eye, the 9 millimeter is still going to appear to go from short to long over here, just like you see in the picture. Now, for the doll eye, if we're only using two lengths and we have a short style, we're using 9 and 11, we're going to divide this in three parts. So now we're going to use our common sense. In the center, right, is the long part. So we're going to divide out the center first. And in the center, we're going to use the 11 millimeters. And in the shorter parts, we're going to use the 9 millimeters. So the last thing is the aftercare. So you want to make sure you tell your clients the basics. Don't wet them for 2 hours. Again, this is because our glue fully dries and heals and sets within 2 hours. If you're using a different glue, make sure you read their instructions. But normally you want to tell your clients don't shower, don't do anything for 2 hours. You want to tell your clients to make sure to keep their eyes clean and wash them daily. Avoid rubbing your eyes and pulling on them if you have a bad habit of doing that. Don't use any eyelash curlers because your eyelashes and natural lashes can get stuck in there and you can damage them. Mascara is not recommended, but you can use it as long as it is oil-free and it's easily washed. After showering, avoid rubbing your eyes a lot in circles to dry them, or even in the shower, you want to avoid rubbing them. Instead, you want to blot them dry after the shower or anytime you wash your face. And lastly, recommend touch-up appointments. It is important to maintain the eyelash extensions and get them touched up on average of 2 to 3 weeks. Now, if you want a little bit more details on the aftercare and you want your client to know a little bit more details about the aftercare, you can always refer them again to one of our YouTube videos that shows and goes in detail of all of that. You don't want to spend too much time when you're consulting with them with the aftercare, because again, your time's valuable. You don't want to be spending 1 hour with each client after their service explaining to them what to do. It's way easier to just refer them to a video, right? So that's what we have created for you. So again, on YouTube, check out the aftercare guide. Let's jump into the hands-on. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pick one eyelash extension at a time from your strip of eyelashes, and let me demonstrate that. Okay, so now time for the first exercise. So now you're prepped and ready to go to start practicing. So your first exercise is to only select one eyelash extension at a time. It seems simple, but it does take some practice. We're gonna hold the straight tweezers for this, which is the Y1 tweezers in this demo, in our dominant hand. So what that means, if you're right-handed, you hold it with your right hand. If you're left-handed, you hold it with your left hand, okay? And now, actually, I'm gonna also grab the curved tweezers in my other hand, just to get used to holding it there. Now, I'm gonna practice picking one little eyelash extension at a time and putting it aside. I'm gonna put one, put it aside. Anytime I grab a few in the beginning, because I'm not used to it, I'm gonna throw it away or put it in a different pile. Because our goal is to only get one at a time. And we're ready to move on to our second exercise, which is isolation. So here's a little demonstration video to show you guys how to isolate properly. Now for the second exercise, we're gonna practice only isolation. And the isolation is done with your other hand with the curved tweezers. So if I'm right-handed, I hold the curved tweezers with my left hand. If I'm left-handed, I hold the curved tweezers in my right hand. And my dominant hand, my left hand, is holding the straight tweezers, and I'm gonna select it with this hand. But I am right-handed, so I'm gonna go ahead and isolate with my left. The way we isolate is we wanna make sure we only get one natural eyelash in between our tweezers. Only one. This is very, 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 very important. If we get two and we get them stuck together, that's how we damage the natural eyelashes. It looks easy when I'm doing it, but it does take a little bit of practice. And I can use my right hand or my other hand to help me move lashes out of the way to isolate and get one in between these tweezers. So now that you've mastered the isolation, let's move on combining those two techniques together. So now you're gonna have to have both tweezers in your hand and also your glue ring, but we're holding everything in our hands to really get used to holding everything we need when we're working on somebody's eyelash extension. Once you get through a full set, which means you have already put on eyelash extensions on every single one of the lashes, then you'll be ready to start practicing on a live model. Please, please, please don't be too hard on yourself in the beginning when you're practicing. It is a new skill you're learning, so it is gonna feel really hard and awkward, or maybe you're gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm stupid, it's not working, why can't I do this? These are very common things I hear from all my students, and those common things that I said myself. Oh, maybe it's not right for me. Oh, maybe I should stick to something else. Oh, why did I waste my time? You know, so these are common concerns people have in the beginning when it's not working. But it's a whole new skill. A baby can't just be born and be like, hey, I'm gonna start walking, right? Even though it's a simple skill, walking, it takes kids like 2 years to master that, right? So same thing with eyelash extensions. It definitely, hopefully, I don't know. It won't take you 2 years to master it, but it does take a lot of practice for you to get that skill down. Once you get it down though, just like walking or driving, it does become like second nature to you. So then it becomes way easier. But like I said in the beginning, even if it seems hard, please don't give up. Reach out to us. We're here not only to train you, but to also be your support system. So hopefully we will get you to your dreams and goals and all that you want to be. Keep in mind, you don't need to know anything about eyelash extensions to take our course. So we have two options for level 1 courses. You can either only take the classic style training, or you can take both classic and volume together. And both of these options are level 1, so you don't have to know anything to take these courses. The last level 1 course option we have is the eyelash lift class, and we do offer that again also online and on site. Lastly, we do have level 2 courses, for which these courses you do need to already know how to do classic eyelash extensions successfully, and these are the only volume training or bottom eyelashes.